Jack. I don't care if I...
Sandy into his windup. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed a perfect game.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone. In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened. Fernando Valenzuela has pitched a no-hitter. Thank you, Kershaw. This is a no-hitter. It is gone. It is a walk-off home run for Justin Turner. It's over. Muncy, a walk-off home run. This is way back. Walk 'em off. Chris Taylor.
Give me some peanuts and crackers, Jack. I don't care if I never get...
We're diving into the latest Dodgers news and rumors, some updates on Willy Adames and Bo Bichette. Also, what do the 2024 Dodgers have in common with the 2017 Dodgers? That's very encouraging. We got an injury update on Max Muncy. We're throwing out our pitcher grades for the first part of the season. All that more coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
Dodgers win.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball.
Grand slam. It's a double for Freddie. Mookie Magic.
They're going to make big signings. They're going to make impact trades. This is the most anticipated season in Dodgers history.
Dodgers have won it all in 2020.
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
What is up, Dodgers Nation? Welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. My name is Doug McKain, credentialed member of Dodgers Media. You can follow me on X, Instagram, and TikTok at DMAC_LA. If you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel, the #1 Dodgers YouTube channel in the game. For all the latest Dodgers news, rumors, live streams, hype videos, giveaways, and more, all you have to do is tune into the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and you know the drill. Comment GOAT Ohtani down below. We are giving away a Shohei Ohtani gray Dodgers jersey once we hit 95,000 subscribers. Also, we're working on some giveaways before then too. And just to be a part of all of our giveaways, you just have to subscribe to the channel. Definitely have those notifications on so you know when we're going live, and hit that like button if you really want to support that channel. This is the year of the fan here at Dodgers Nation. We are giving back. Also, a reminder, this episode is brought to you by our friends over at Bet Online. Bet Online is your #1 source for the NBA Finals and Stanley Cup Finals this season. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on the games. You can play blackjack, you can play poker, or you can unwind with one of their over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BLEAV, BLEAV, for your 50% off. Bet Online, the game starts here. So first and foremost, let me know where you're representing Dodgers Nation from today. Give me your hottest takes on all things Dodger baseball down below. You know how it goes down here on Dodgers Dugout Live. If you bring a fire take, a little hot take, a spicy take, you're going to see one of these.
Fire take.
If you do anything that's a little sus, usually coming from Nando, you're going to see one of these.
Bruh.
Comment of the shows, you're going to see one of these.
You win. Perfect.
You know I like my roast. You know I like my burns. If you call anyone out, got any burns, you're going to see one of these.
Finish him.
And also, super producer Mr. Antonio. Tony Tater is always looking for your hottest takes. And when you have a hot take, if you have a comment, you're going to feature right on the screen. Also, any of the super chats you're going to see on the screen as well. Got my man Antonio and Noise by Noel, Mr. Noel Sanchez. They're rocking with us. We got the new
Producer Cam. Keep the producer Cam, guys. There's Antonio, Tony Tater. There's Noel. We call him Noise by Noel.
That's the
We
man.
call him Young Lotto in these parts. Definitely some gangsters, some elite Dodgers fans and content creators and producers. So definitely be checking them throughout the entire show.
But first thing I want to point out, the leadoff today is This Dodgers team has something in common with my favorite baseball team of all time. My favorite baseball time in Dodgers history is the 2017 Dodgers. The 2017 Dodgers that were an incredible team, a team that deserved to win the World Series, a team that should have hoisted the Commissioner's Trophy, a team that should have been champions if it weren't for the Houston Astros. That magical season was spoiled because of a cheating organization, the Astros, but it doesn't take away from all the magical moments that they gave us that season, because that 2017 team was special. And it wasn't just one or two guys. It wasn't three or four guys. It was the entire team. You had a rookie, Cody Bellinger, 39 home runs. He was the last Dodger to hit a cycle against the Marlins in Miami. You had a 10 walk-off season for your Dodgers. The Dodgers hit 10 walk-offs that year. The MLB record is 18, set by the 59 Pirates. But what I loved about that team is the grit that they played with. And you had Austin Barnes hitting walk-off shots. You had Chase Utley and Logan Forsythe. They were producing and they had their moments. And I always remember that summer where it was a Dodgers summer. The Dodgers, they won 43 of 50 games. No team had done that in 105 years since John McGraw's Giants. And that team will go on to win 104 games. Well, guess what? Through 67 games, the 2017 Dodgers, they were exactly 40. That team at that point has the exact same record as the 2024 Dodgers. So that's what you love to see is, yes, I know it's a small thing, but that team through 67 games, they were 41-26. The 2024 Dodgers through 67 games are 41-26. So what can you learn about that 2017 team was that, hey, any team on any given night, it can be your moment. Kike Hernandez having a 3 home run game against the Cubs to seal the deal in Chicago. Justin Turner hitting that walk-off shot in the 2017 Game 2 off of John Lackey. The first time the Dodgers had that postseason walk-off shot since Gibby's in the 1988 World Series. So that team was special. The Astros robbed them of being the best team in Dodgers history as far as a team that had a historic postseason run, would have beaten that Astros team. And yeah, it's sad. That Dodgers team, they were incredible. My favorite Dodgers team of all time, and I've been a fan of this organization for my entire life. Tonio, favorite Dodgers team of all time. Is it the 2017 Dodgers?
Oh, hold up. Yo, what's up? 2017, I mean, that was such a great season. He had Yasiel Puig, Zach Greinke, Brandon Morrow. I mean, I loved Brandon Morrow back then. He was a little underrated, but I loved it. But best team, I would say, yes. What about you, Noah?
I really like that 2017 team, but something about the 2022 Dodgers always just sticks out to me. I really liked all the talent they put together there, and even though they came up short, that whole season was just really fun. The celebrations, the vibes, I just felt like it was unmatched, Doug.
No, that team was absolutely a special team. That 2022 Dodgers team, when you look at the year they put together, I mean, that team will always go down as the team that set the regular season mark, a 111-win team. Unfortunately, they got bounced in the first round against the San Diego Padres. But yeah, that team was really fun. But hey, all this is to point out 2017 Dodgers, 2024 Dodgers, same record, 41-26 through 67 games. It's going to be another Dodgers summer. So next thing I want to get into here, let's get into his comments here. We got 1981, the strike season from B. Guzman. Yeah, let me know down below. What is your favorite Dodgers team of all time? One-Eyed Dragon, 88 for me. Yeah, I mean, to me also, a big part of the 2017 season was just the calls from Joe Davis. I feel like that's the year where we really fell in love with Joe Davis. And I mean, I'll never forget the Cody Bellinger walk-off against the Arizona Diamondbacks. And he's just going off moment after moment, memory after memory. The Dodgers do it again. I mean, just all those moments. I mean, the Puig walk-off against the White Sox. It's not if, it's when, it's who. So, I mean, just a magical year for that Dodgers team. And I also want to point out that Dodgers team, after winning 43 of 50 games, they would go on to lose 11 straight. So, hey, you're going to have your ups and downs through the course of a full 162 game season. But let's hope that the 2024 Dodgers team becomes your favorite team of all time. Daniel Barry Sports highlights a super chat, $2, extend Teoscar, go Dodgers. Hey, we talked a lot about that yesterday, and you guys know where I stand on that. I planted my flag firmly. I'm the conductor of the extend Teoscar Hernandez, and absolutely, we talked about that yesterday. So we did the little deep dive on the possibility of that. We hope Ohtani's warm against this Rangers team. That's from Dodgers Z Showtime fans. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think you look at Shohei Ohtani lately, and he's not looking like Go-Tani, right? He's not looking like comment Go-Tani down below at the moment. And I think that you see him go through occasional slumps. It's not the first time that Ohtani has struggled during a season. But yeah, right now, he's not seeing the ball as well. He's flailing. You're seeing some bad swings against sliders out of the zone. You're seeing him miss on fastballs up and in particularly. So that's really his problem areas, is a fastball up in the zone. You're seeing him take some bad swings. And I think that Shohei Ohtani is someone who's going to go up there and he's going to try to go and do damage. Unfortunately, though, you want to see a little more plate discipline, a little more pitch recognition, and get himself into better spots to have some success. Because, yeah, as of late, as you point out, for Shohei Ohtani, he is struggling. In last 11 games for Shohei's 9 for his last 47, hitting under 200, hitting 191 with a 595 OPS. So, yeah, absolutely you need Shohei to get back to being the Ohtani that we saw. BC 2020 Dodgers averaged 5.6 runs per game in the playoffs. We're going to talk about those 2020 Dodgers in just a second here. 5 years, $150 million, extend Teo. That's a little on the high side. I'm not so sure I would go that high for Teo, but I think I would go as high as possibly around $100 million. But we got Shohei hitting 190 in the last 15 games. Absolutely. Justin Lamas, the 1988 squad won the World Series on the back end of their pitching staff. Yeah, I mean, Oral Hershiser was incredible that entire run. Kirk Gibson's moment against Eckersley, that clearly is one of the best moments in the history of the sport. So, yeah, you can obviously make a case. I mean, not just that team. You had the big home run with Mike Scioscia there against the Mets. Mickey Hatcher having a big moment. I mean, that 1988 team was absolutely special, too. D-Mac, you're going to do draft coverage for Michael Carrillo. I'm talking about NBA draft, MLB draft, NFL draft, but good chance to do all three. Sean Martin, decisions spelled wrong. LOL. Oh, is the, let me see, is the title not up? Let me make sure we got the right title here. I'll update that title. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like the title's on. So, yeah, here we go. Shout out to the production. We got the MLB Teoscar Eagles, Roger Dorn. Okay, so next thing I want to get into, though, is Mookie Betts. And Mookie actually had himself a decent series defensively against the Yankees. There was nothing that was particularly glaring. But what does stand out right now with Mookie Betts is the comments that he made again to Bill Plunkett of the OC Register. He told Bill Plunkett about playing the shortstop position. This is all new to me, man. This is all new, and it's going to take more than 2 months to get. I was talking to Lux during the game last week, and I was like, this is the hardest thing I've ever had to do. So that does not sound extremely encouraging. I think the positive for that is that he realizes that it's going to take more than 2 months to firmly establish himself as a big league shortstop, because you guys know I bring my facts to the fight, and right now the numbers say that Mookie Betts is one of the worst defensive shortstops in all of Major League Baseball. That's not a take. That's just based on metrics. And when it comes to defensive metrics like UZR and UZR 150, outs above average, defensive runs saved, you definitely want a larger sample size to truly make sense of them. Sometimes you want as much as 2 or 3 years, but still the fact remains that Mookie Betts has struggled. Right now, his -7 outs above average is last in all of Major League Baseball for qualified shortstops. His -34.9 UZR 150 is also last. So really, it's not him making the routine plays. if you hit a ball near Mookie Betts, odds are he's going to make that play. But it's the range. It's the lateral range from left to right where certain balls that other shortstops would get to, he's just not getting to. And I think that it's been a valiant effort by Mookie Betts. He is taking on a challenge that no superstar in Major League Baseball would sign up for. No superstar that is going to make it to the Hall of Fame one day, possibly a first ballot Hall of Famer, an MVP winner, World Series champion at age 31, going from right field to second base to shortstop. This doesn't happen. This won't happen again, in my opinion, because in most cases, once a guy turns 31 and you start to see defensive metrics like this, that's when you start having the conversation about, hey, is it time to move over to third? Is it time to change positions to second? Is it time to go to the outfield? I think that is where I'm at with Mookie Betts, because this is not a sustainable strategy, okay? He spends hours and hours before games preparing to play that position just to do it at a below average level. And I know this is a tough conversation, and I know that I like to skew on the positive side more often than not, but I also like to be honest with you guys. I like to keep it a buck, keep it 100. And I'm just telling you, from diving deep into this, Mookie Betts should not be the permanent shortstop for the Dodgers this season, okay? Whether you go out there and explore a trade, if Willy Adames became available, which right now doesn't seem like he's going to be, you go that route. If Bo Bichette became available, maybe you pull that. If you go and try to, I see Paul DeYoung. I was talking to someone here about the idea of Paul DeYoung. And yes, it's not a true platoon with Miguel Rojas because they're both right-handed batters, but Paul DeYoung is someone who's on the White Sox, who's an above average bat. I could see that as an option. You could have Miguel Rojas as your everyday shortstop and try to keep him healthy and try to find days where you have some other guys play that position. But the most important thing is, look, it's difficult because Gavin Lux can't play another position right now. You can't throw him at short because of the throwing issues. You can't put him at third. You can't throw him in the outfield. They tried that experiment, and it didn't work out as well. But either you move Mookie back to right field or you move him to second base. You cannot keep him at shortstop for the entire season. He is going to either wear down or it's going to bleed into his offensive numbers. And I know that if you look at his offensive numbers lately, Mookie Betts, last 50 at-bats, last 12 games, Mookie's hitting 200 with a 662 OPS, and the slug has gone down tremendously. He has 2 home runs and a double in that stretch. And you saw him strike out to end the game on Sunday. He did have a clutch double, but still, I can't help but think that him playing shortstop for an entire season, really 67 games into this season, and Mookie's making comments like this, I think that they absolutely have to make a change. What must be done eventually should be done immediately. And the truth of the matter is, Gavin Lux offensively at second base hasn't done enough to justify playing Mookie out of position at shortstop. We're in Hollywood, right? Sometimes Hollywood actors get miscast in movies they shouldn't be in, right? Right now, Mookie Betts is miscast as a shortstop, and this is no fault of his. This is no slight on Mookie Betts. This is a shout out and giving Mookie Betts his flowers for doing something that most players would not do. I've spoken to Andrew Friedman about this. I've spoken to Dino Ebel about this. They tell me that Mookie's obsessed with trying to be a good shortstop, and also that it is the most selfless thing that they've ever seen a superstar do at the big league level, saying, you know what, I'm going to play the most difficult defensive position on the diamond outside of being a catcher, and I'm going to do it in my age 31 season. It just doesn't make sense. We got Preach DMAC from Abs to Katit. That's a tough one. They got the whole ABCs in there, but I'll give you a fire take. We got Dodgers need Luis Robert only. That's from Devin Joints. That's over on YouTube. Give you a finish. We got Dodgers need Luis Robert only. Mookie, agree. Fraudman, hey, no Fraudman slander here. No Andrew Friedman slander here, okay? Too stubborn to admit he was wrong and that Lux is trash. I don't think that it's that. I think the Dodgers are very process-oriented. They're not going to make rash decisions. They're not going to not give some guy an opportunity if they think that he can be a young, controllable player that can help them in the future. The problem is with Gavin Lux is, like I said, the lack of positional versatility. You can only play him at second base. And I think for me, my question is, why don't you give Andre Lipsius an opportunity and use one of those options for Gavin Lux, okay? This is not Little League, right? We're not giving out participation trophies, orange slices, and Capri Suns, okay? It's not about your feelings. It's a performance-based business. You have to do what's very best, and you have to do what you think is going to help this team at the highest level. And I'm just concerned about just the wear and tear of Mookie Betts again and again at that position. Tom Cruise is a great samurai hero for Mr. Marty Mart. Yeah, no, the worst miscasting is Vince Vaughn in Psycho. Vince Vaughn in Psycho was pretty bad in that one. Cameron Diaz at Gangs of New York, that was a pretty bad one. Tom Hanks in The Da Vinci Code, didn't like that. There's a couple off the top of my head. We got Francisco Lindor. That's from Jonathan Uno. Everyone's too high on Lipsius and Nando. Padres will probably swoop in on Luis Robert. He's leading an AL average. That's from Chinito Pinoy. We got Steven Kwan. We got Jaron Duran. We're going to talk about him tomorrow. By the way, this is a dope setup. I like how the screen is closer to me. Here, I'm noticing that. It's easier for me to read, guys. Justin Labos, hey, Doug, at this rate, we're going to give Adames $180 million in free agency. Okay, Justin, thanks for the transition there. Thanks for the transition there, because we're going to talk about Gavin Lux, and we're going to talk about Bo Bichette and Willie Adames next, because Ken Rosenthal, he had some very interesting comments about where the Dodgers stand and what they could be looking for. You want to run that on Ken? Get that queued up.
Yeah, you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Chris, like every team, I'll be a broken record on this. They're going to seek relief help. But the big question with the Dodgers is what they do with their offense. They could use one more bat in the outfield. They've got Hernandez, who's been great. Andy Pajes has come on. And then the infield is the big question. And you guys mentioned two names in this segment that the Dodgers probably would like to have. Willie Adames, the Brewers shortstop. Bo Bichette, the Blue Jays shortstop. You get a shortstop, you move Mookie to second, and then Gavin Lux is out of the equation because he hasn't hit at all this season. Granted, he's coming off a year off with the knee surgery. So that is going to be their central focus, in my opinion, the offense and how they go about it. They could end up with Miguel Rojas at short and Mookie at second. They could end up with Mookie at short and still play Gavin Lux, but that is where they will like to upgrade.
So that's Ken Rosenthal talking about where the Dodgers stand as far as the moves they could potentially make at the trade deadline and what their needs are. And you heard him mention Willie Adames. Now, first of all, Willie Adames is a name that you've heard on this show for, I want to say, years at this point. We've talked about him quite a bit. We pushed for him multiple times. And the first thing I want to say about Willie Adames is you could have possibly had a better chance in the offseason. And it makes you wonder, should the Dodgers have gone all in on a Willie Adames trade before the season started, before the Brewers realized that they were going to be one of the better teams in the National League? Because the National League, not a lot of good talent, not a lot of good teams. The Brewers are currently 39-27 in the National League Central. That's 7 games above the Reds. So they're cruising in the NL Central. They're going to win that division. And I think for them to trade Willie Adames, who's having himself another really, really solid season, that would be a major blow to that franchise, a major blow to that fan base. Willie Adames so far this season hitting .248 with a 117 weighted runs created plus. The strikeout rate's actually down, and he has 10 home runs in 66 games. So 10 home runs in 66 games. And defensively, one of the best defensive shortstops in baseball. He's on an expiring deal. He's going to be enter free agency this offseason. So for Willie Adames, he's going to hit that free agent market when shortstops are at a premium. Teams are going to want Willie Adames. And I think the big question for me, if I'm the Milwaukee Brewers, though, is when you look at this trade deadline, one of the big obstacles is teams are going to ask for exorbitant deals. They're going to ask for king's ransoms, Godfather offers. I'm going to make him an offer, can't refuse. You're going to see those Godfather offers, because there's so many teams that aren't good. There's so many teams that can still vie for a wild card spot. So it's absolutely going to be a seller's market. So would you really want to give a ton of top talent for a rental of Willy Adames? I think for a lot of teams, the answer will be no. I think for the Dodgers, though, if you traded for Willy Adames, you would do it knowing that you would want to get an extension done, knowing that you need a long-term solution at shortstop, and he would be a fantastic option. Willy Adames would be the perfect shortstop for the Los Angeles Dodgers. He has the glove ability. He's elite defensively. He's got the range. He can get it done. He's proven that over multiple seasons now. And then offensively, he's not the best bat, but he's an above average bat that has pop, and he can be dangerous, and he can leave the yard. So he's the perfect shortstop. Then you add the intangibles. Great personality, big smile, lots of charisma, lots of likability. I think it'd be popular for Dodgers fans. Only problem is you can't buy a house that isn't for sale, and makes you wonder if the Brewers will even answer calls on Willy Adames if things trend the way they are. Now, he also mentioned Bo Bichette. You guys know, we're talking about Bo Bichette a good amount on this show because Bo Bichette is another top shortstop that could be available. And Bo Bichette, like I said, down year, hitting 236, 81 weighted runs created plus, 9% below league average, or 19% below league average, 4 home runs in 63 games. So it's a big risk. It's a big roll of the dice, hoping that you're going to get the Bo Bichette from years past versus the 2024 Bo Bichette. Because I think one of the warnings for Bo Bichette is if you trade for him, he has another year of team control. What if he's not Bo Bichette anymore? I think that he's in a situation where he doesn't look like he wants to re-sign there long term. He's pretty much made that clear through channels. And I think that for him, it's probably a situation where you say, look, ultimate change of scenery guy, but it just makes you wonder if the Toronto Blue Jays would truly make a deal with the Dodgers after what happened in the offseason. We're going to see Bo Bichette on a plane to L.A. Hopefully we'll see that the other way around. But someone mentioned Paul DeJong, and I like that you threw out that. I think it was Michael Carrillo. I want to give you credit, but I was talking about Paul DeJong a little bit yesterday, and Paul DeJong with the White Sox this season, that dumpster fire. The White Sox are an absolute dumpster fire. I mean, that team is awful this year. Worst team in baseball. DeJong, though, hitting 235 with a 113 weighted runs created plus, 12 home runs for Paul DeJong. So, yeah, there's other options out there that aren't necessarily top flight names that you're familiar with, these household names. And look at Paul DeJong. I mean, another guy who is going to be an unrestricted free agent this season, so it would be a rental, and it would cost them virtually nothing financially, $1.75 million. But Paul DeJong is absolutely a name that I have been floating around that I absolutely would take it as well. But you need someone, because I love Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts is a Hall of Famer. Mookie Betts is a Gold Glove Award-winning right fielder. Mookie Betts is one of the best players of his generation, a top 5 hitter. What Mookie Betts is not is an everyday shortstop in Major League Baseball. But we got Let's Talk Baseball. Give me Bichette and Romano for Maddox, Bruns, Vargas, Kendall, George, and River Ryan. You know we love our trade packages right there, so I'm going to give you a fire take for that one. BT Fouts, we could get a decent shortstop in CJ Abrams from Washington. Look, Abrams defensively is near the bottom as well, and he's a younger player. I think for me, I'd prefer a veteran this season that's going to cost less because you don't have as much team control. We don't want 7 shortstops like the Padres. That's from Damon McKain. What up, Damon McKain, all the way from Australia? You get to watch the Padres season go down the drain the opposite direction. That's got to be pretty cool. Roy Estrada, get a shortstop and move Mookie to second base. Sweeney is the answer internally. Bats like Corey Seager. Hey, I don't know about that. I don't know. Let's pump the brakes on a little Corey Seager and Sweeney comparison. Yes, they are 6'4", but D-Mac, what up, Charles over there? Hey, Doug, would you trade a left-handed starting pitcher for one? Yeah, I mean, look, we'll talk about that tomorrow. I mean, we still got trade Thursday coming up. D-Mac, do we have any shortstop prospects? Look, I mean, really, in the pipeline, you just don't have a guy that you can say, okay, 1, they're going to help this year. 2, they're going to help immediately. They just haven't done that at the minor league level where you've seen them have a lot of success giving that next appearance. I mean, you got Vargas down there, Yandry Vargas, but I mean, that is not going to be Morales. I mean, these aren't names that you're not going to see for quite some time. So yeah, the truth of the matter is there aren't shortstop options at the minor league level that are going to be able to compete and have an impact this year. And that's what it's all about. Roy Estrada, D-Mac, do you bring up Lipsius? We talked about it yesterday. I'd strongly consider it, but got some super chats over here. Let's talk baseball. Give me a 3-team trade. Tampa Bay gets Gonsolin, Cartaya, Rooker, Seth Brown. Oaks gets Shane Baz, Grove, Vargas, and Taylor Walls. LA gets Mason Miller and Randy Arozarena. First of all, the creativity of that trade is something that I respect on this show. So you're going to get a comment on the show for that. But look, Randy Arozarena is another guy that I think is similar to a Bo Bichette in the sense that Randy Arozarena not having his best year, having a down year by his standards. This year, Randy, an 83 weighted runs created plus, 8 home runs in 64 games. So he's had a down year like Bo Bichette. He's under multiple years of team control. So it depends on how the Dodgers would value Randy Arozarena. And Mason Miller, yes, he's phenomenal. But when you look at how much team control he has, I mean, you're talking about someone that is going to be a free agent for a very long time. And he throws with the kind of velocity he throws with. There's always that inherent injury risk, right? It's not if, it's when. And then you look at just where he is contractually. I mean, he's not arbitration eligible until 2026. So, I mean, come on, man. You're looking at 6-7 years of team control. It's just he's pre-arbitration. So you would have to give up a lion's share for a relief pitcher. That's not a move that I particularly would be all for, because I think you could use those assets to get a starting pitcher. I mean, to get another relief pitcher. But I feel good about this bullpen. We're going to break down the bullpen a little bit in tomorrow's show. But next thing I want to talk about, though, we got to actually do some comments here. I agree. Yeah, let me know, just yes or no. Is there anyone out there that still wants to see Mookie Betts as the shortstop for the rest of this season? D-Mac, are you concerned about Pages' defense after seeing him not catch that Aaron Judge hit? That's from David. He has had some blunders defensively, but for the most part, he's been an above average defender by every defensive metric that you want to look at. And I think you look at the potential he has offensively and the fact that at some point you do have to develop some of these homegrown guys, because look, a couple years ago, that Dodger team in 2020 was 53% homegrown guys. And that's how you build a winner for a long period of time. So I definitely think that Andy Pages, you can live through those growing pains and the sliding issues, picking up his back foot, not sliding there with his lead leg that cost them a run in the Yankees series, some of the defensive blunders that he's had. Yes, he has had some growing pains, but that's what happens when you're learning on the job, when you're a rookie that is performing on the biggest stage with a team that has World Series expectations. Things are going to be magnified. So I think you have to stick with the development. I like what I've seen out of Andy Pages, and you just have to hope that he learns from every single mistake. But Brian Reyes, our situation is simple. We need a shortstop and a couple bats to pick up the slack. Our bats are too inconsistent. Yeah, see more of you guys talking about the Willy Adames trade and that possibility. I mean, look, the truth of the matter is Willy Adames is going to be looking for $25 to $30 million a year. Right? Willy Adames is going to be looking for probably a 6-year, $150 million contract. That's what my estimation would be. And the Milwaukee Brewers, I can tell you right now, they're not going to be paying that, okay? He is not going to be signing long-term unless they want to go full Christian Yelich deal, which I don't think they do. Willy Adames is going to hit free agency. And if you're that Brewers team, could really get those next stars and try to get as much as you can for him. He's a 3-win player. So he's like, essentially he's a 3+ win player. So he's going to get that back. He's going to get shortstop money. So I think that's an absolute obstacle for sure. So we got some more comments here. Put Mookie in right field again. Why is Lux given such a long leash? Call up Lipsius. We got Mookie sacrificing his body to make Lux feel happy, but enough is enough. Lux is not worth taxing Mookie's body. Yeah, I mean, look, all these are fair points. All these are points that make a ton of sense. And I think that Mookie's comments to Bill Plunkett were very, very telling. So I definitely agree with what you guys are saying, because, look, I mean, you watch every game. You see how it is. And the truth of the matter is, I mean, if we can go advanced stats, You can go outs above average, defensive run saved. He's 24th in defensive run saved, 3.2. -7 outs above average, 24th. 3.6 UZR, 23rd. But if you want to go traditional, fine. 8 throwing errors, tied for most. 2 defensive runs saved, that's 10th. So, yeah, there's any way you want to slice it. There's no doubt about it. But, yeah, Willy Adames. This season, by the way, Willy Adames on pace for 6+ WAR. Michael McCaffrey, $10 super chat. My man, appreciate you for that. For me, Mookie needs to transition back to second base after the All-Star game. Rojas is thriving at the plate and needs a permanent spot in the lineup. Racky for that. Wouldn't be opposed to it. Wouldn't be opposed to, at the very least, just taking it week by week and seeing if you can continue to look respectable at the plate while playing elite defense at a premium position. So not against that at all. Justin, remember when Ohtani just needs rest, that hamstring. Yeah, he's a little hamstrung by that hamstring at the plate. I totally agree. And he needs to catch up on his sleep. He'll be fine. Yeah, no question. He's going to be absolutely fine. I do think that Aaron Judge made a major statement, though. I will say Aaron Judge, he had that bobblehead that they were sharing, but they didn't share the same success in that series against the Dodgers and the Yankees. I mean, Aaron Judge this season, he's hitting .305 with a .215 weighted runs created plus, 24 bombs in 67 games. Just absolutely ridiculous. And you saw the big home runs, the doubles, the big hits in that series. Shohei Ohtani had some moments, had the double, had an RBI single, but not enough from Shohei. Lux to the outfield. We've seen that movie before. Didn't like the ending. It ended up with an injured outfield wall where they had tape around it where he landed and had to miss time, and also ended up in a injury with Cody Bellinger. It cracked his ribs. So D-Mac, what's the Dodgers bullpen ERA at the moment? Dodgers bullpen ERA is right there at the top. I can look it up for you. But yeah, I mean, it's right at the top. And the Dodgers bullpen is in a really good spot. And this is without being at full strength. So, I mean, that is really encouraging. I think for me, this Dodgers team is going to lean heavily on their bullpen once they get to the postseason, because you're going to see guys like Dustin May, guys like possibly even Gavin Stone. I mean, we'll see who the top part of that rotation is. But if you're going with 4 guys, you need 4 guys for the postseason rotation. We know the locks. The locks are Tyler Glasnow, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. After that, Walker Buehler, Bobby Miller, Gavin Stone, Clayton Kershaw. It's 6 guys for 4 spots. I think Kershaw somehow, some way finds a way to get in, and it just feels like Kershaw is going to come back and do big things. I know it sounds crazy. I know some of you are against the idea of Kershaw in the postseason because of the ups and downs, but it just feels like that is going to be the ending for this season. But the Dodgers bullpen this season, a .330 ERA. That's 4th in Major League Baseball, 2nd in the National League. So they definitely have had success this season. But coming up next here, we're going to talk more trade deadline stuff. We're going to also throw out our grades for the starting pitchers this season. And we've got a bad injury update for Max Muncy. That's coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live. What up, Dodgers Nation? D-Mac here. I'm here to remind you that if you have not yet, be sure to subscribe to the #1 Dodgers YouTube channel for all latest Dodgers news, rumors, hype videos, interviews, breakdowns, live streams, and more all year long. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you really want to help the channel out, smash that like button. Also, you will not be eligible for any of our giveaways unless you are subscribed to the channel. So all you need to do to be eligible for all of our giveaways is just make sure that you are subscribed. We just gave away a brand new authentic Mookie Betts jersey valued at over $350. And we got tons of giveaways coming this offseason. So be sure to be subscribed so you are eligible to win. And as always, think blue, bleed blue, and please subscribe. And welcome back to Dodgers Dugout Live. By the way, if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, hit that like button so you can win a Shohei Ohtani gray number 17 Dodgers authentic jersey. Comment Go Ohtani down below. Also, tonight, post-game show after the game. Be sure to rock with us for that. We'll be going live right after the Dodgers and the Rangers. We got some news, though, on Max Muncy. So Max Muncy, he was on foul territory today, and he told them that he is not progressing as fast as you would like to from the oblique injury. Dave Roberts also said in New York for those series that he's been doing some plyo work. He's been taking dry swings, but doesn't sound like you're going to get Max Muncy back in short order here. It feels like it's going to be a longer time on the IL for Max Muncy, and he's someone that really, really puts the finishing touches to this Dodgers lineup. He is one of those glue guys. He was on pace for 36 home runs, which would have matched his career high, over 100 RBI. Also, defensively, we talk about some of the shortcomings of Mookie Betts defensively. Max Muncy has improved tremendously defensively. It took a good amount of time. He kind of changed his body composition a little bit. He did lose a good amount of weight. He's in the best shape of his life. So you're losing an above average third baseman and above average bat. So you have to really think long and hard about that as well, because Kike Hernandez, he's had some errors. He's not the hitter that Max Muncy is. And also, Kike is a right-handed hitter that has success primarily against left-handed pitching. He struggles against righties. So I think that's definitely not good news. I mean, I hope this doesn't seem like it's season ending or anything like that, but at the moment, you really have to think about what you're going to do at that position for the Dodgers. I think Kike can hold it down, but if Kike is holding it down, don't you want the best version of Betts? Best version of Betts, probably not at short, right? So there's other ways to supplement and compensate for the lack of offense. But yeah, definitely not a good update for Maximo Muncy. Definitely need him back. So yeah, it's Father's Day this week. I hope Madison Bumgarner sends him something, by the way. You know he will. But yeah, not good news for Max Muncy. Now, tonight, Dodgers Rangers. Now, we don't know if Corey Seager is going to play. He's missed his last 4 games with a hamstring injury. But every time the Dodgers face the Rangers, heck, anytime that Corey Seager is going full Corey Slugger and hitting big home runs, Dodgers fans kind of are like that Wolverine meme, right? It's the Wolverine meme, and you're looking at that picture and you're just looking at Corey Seager, the one that got away. It hits you in your feelings. It hits you in your feelings. So I think for that, this series is going to be some interesting thoughts for the Dodgers fans. So the first thing I want to say, if he does play, I want to see the loudest standing ovation for Corey Seager. Once a Dodger, always a Dodger. Corey Seager does not have to play another game for the Dodgers to be cemented as a Dodger legend, okay? Corey Seager is the guy that put this team on his back during that 2020 postseason run. And I asked Andrew Friedman when he was on the show a couple months ago about Corey Seager and about the narrative that's out there that the Dodgers let him get away. Well, here was Andrew Friedman on that. You want to roll that?
I don't have it.
Okay, we're going to go to that next time. What Andrew Friedman told me was basically that you have to be able to make a counter offer. And he feels like there was no ability for the Dodgers to make that counter offer. And he cited the fact that the Dodgers have gotten deals done with other players and players that wanted to stay there. I got the feeling that Corey Seager just did not want to retire as a Los Angeles Dodger. And you also have to factor in the cost, how much it would have cost to keep Corey Seager. Seager ended up signing a 10-year, $325 million deal with the Texas Rangers. 10 years, $325. You know how much it would have cost him? You know how much it would have cost the Dodgers to sign him to equal that amount? LA would have had to sign him for $401 million because of California state income tax, which is at 3.3%. That's the highest in all of the United States. So would you really have been comfortable with signing Corey Seager for 10 years and $401 million? I mean, in retrospect, maybe, but they still were able to get Freddie Freeman. And Freddie Freeman has been great for the Dodgers. So I just don't know. I think that it's easy to say now, but I think that there's a couple things that are true. I think one, Corey Seager he lived out his LA Dodger career, right? He lived out the fact that he won the Rookie of the Year and that he came up and had a ton of success and established himself as one of the best hitting shortstops in the league. But for me, I think at this point, I'm over the Corey Seager thing. I truly am. I'm over it. I'm happy for him. I'm glad that he won a World Series with the Texas Rangers. He's a 2-time World Series MVP. But we'll never forget the run he went on in the 2020 World Series, the 2020 postseason, everything he did that year. Because I think the big lesson there was heading into that postseason run, Seager had been a 203 hitter in 31 postseason games, a 203 hitter. And then that 2020 postseason, Corey Seager went into God mode. He slashed 328, 425, 746 in 18 postseason games. He had 8 home runs, so it was the second most of all time. He scored 20 runs. That was the second most runs scored in MLB postseason history, and had 20 RBI, the second most RBI in MLB postseason history. So he was rewriting the record book during that postseason run. I mean, he had a 4-hit game in Game 4 of the World Series. He homered. He scored 3 times. So just the games that he had, down 3-1 the NLCS. The Dodgers get 2 bombs from Seager in Game 5 against the Braves. And then he kicks off Game 6 with a home run. So he was phenomenal. He was fantastic. But I personally believe that he's happy in Texas. He went there. He won another World Series. I think that he's always going to be a Dodgers legend. Corey Seager will never have to pay for a drink in the city of Los Angeles for the rest of his life. Corey Seager, once a Dodger, always a Dodger. But having said all that, I think that both sides are fine. We got Corey Seager is easily a Dodgers legend. That's from Devin Joints. I mean, yeah, he basically was what Hanley Ramirez was supposed to be in 2013 before Joe Kelly cracked his ribs. David Muncy, D-Mac, what do you think about trading for shortstop Iglesias for the Mets since their season's over already? I just don't think that would move the needle enough for me. Tommy Alvaro, D-Mac, been hitting the gym, looking great. Man, really haven't. Maybe it's the shirt, man. Flex on him, you know. I would flex, but I don't want the sleeves to fall off the shirt. I like the shirt too much. No, I'm just playing. We got, I think it was Fernando Tatis, let me borrow his ringworm cream. James Reynolds, Mookie is being unnecessarily stressed. Alex PPG, Mookie is doing fine at short. Dude is figuring it out. It's a tough challenge for him, and I think he loves the challenge. If anyone can do it, it's Mookie Betts. I root for the name on the front and not the back. Jay Sanchez. I like that take. It's a fire take right there. I got Tommy Alvarado, letting Seager and Turner walk cost us Mookie Betts. Chris Heasley, interesting take. Facts, D-Mac, he was also hurt often. No doubt about it. We got LMAO from Favorite Ben, 60s. I just read LMAO, just made me laugh. Dodgers need Mookie back in the outfield, get a real shortstop. Thomas Burry, I haven't heard much about Taylor Ward. Have the Dodgers asked about him? We actually talked about Taylor Ward as an option a couple different times on this show. I just dropped a top 10 outfield options for the Dodgers. We'll drop those in the comment section, but do a little breakdown on Taylor Ward. I think for me, comes down to the fact that he has 2 more arbitration years left after this season. He's on the Angels. Artie Moreno would rather trade his grandma than trade one of his players to the Dodgers, right? So there's that. Joel Rodriguez, you the man. Hepatitis, see you later. Freeman isn't a threat versus decent left-handed pitching. Needs to be moved to the 4 spot. I'm going to spend a whole episode on lineup construction, so I'm going to save that topic, but I kind of like what you're thinking there. I just want to say that. But real quick, before you head out of here, we're going to do some more. We got starting pitcher grades. Starting pitcher grades, we're a little past the 1/3 of the way through the season, and just want to throw out some grades, starting with Tyler Glasnow. So Tyler Glasnow didn't have his best start against the Yankees. Have a couple pitches you want back. I mean, he had a home run, hit a foul pole. You had to Oswaldo. You had the home run to Trent Grisham where, yeah, I mean, come on now. It's a sub 100 hitter that leaves the yard. You'd want that pitch back, let that fastball catch too much of the plate. But otherwise, he had 12 strikeouts. He had 22 swings and misses. He was great. He has swing and miss stuff. And on the year, Tyler Glasnow, 86 innings. That's second in baseball. 3.24 ERA. That's 28th. 2.58 expected ERA. So your expected ERA is based on the batted ball data, the batted ball contact. And he has a 2.58 expected ERA. That's third. A 2.80 FIP. So FIP, we talked about that on the show a couple different times. That is something that gauges what the pitcher is controlling, right? I mean, walks and home runs, right? I mean, it takes out the factor of defense, right? I mean, some pitchers are have good luck. Some pitchers have bad luck. He has a 280 FIP. He has a 239 expected FIP. So your FIP is kind of what your ERA should look like. His FIP is lower than his ERA. So that's usually flip-flopped a lot of times. So the fact that his FIP is where it's at, his ERA is where it's at, tells you he's putting up elite numbers. 34.5 strikeout rate, that's first in baseball. A 27.4 strikeout to walk ratio, that's third. His Sierra is 259, that's fourth. So he's great. And Tyler Glasnow, right now, I think it's a three-man race for the NL Cy Young. I think it's Ranger Suarez, Chris Sale, and Tyler Glasnow. I think Tyler Glasnow has a really, really good shot because the Dodgers are going to finish with one of the best records in baseball. So are the Phillies, so are the Braves. But I do think that Tyler Glasnow, if he stays healthy, he could absolutely win the Cy Young this season. And I think for me with Tyler Glasnow, a couple things I want to see for him the second half of the season. I want to see him utilize that curveball just a little more. You look at the curveball usage, it went from 21.3% last year down to 16.7% this year. It's one of the nastiest curveballs in baseball. So you want to see that. And also, how about you give this man some run support? I mean, the Dodgers gave him 3 runs in that series against the Yankees in his start on Sunday. First time he had gotten run support since May 4th. Hey, how about some of those runs? It's like the Dave Chappelle meme. You got any of them runs? Give them some runs, okay? Give Tyler Glasnow those runs. And I think the truth of the matter is Glasnow has been everything the Dodgers could have expected and then some. He is a game one starter. He is your horse. He has dominant swing and miss stuff that overpowers hitters. And that is absolutely what you want. So I give Tyler Glasnow an A for Glasnow. Then there's Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Yoshinobu Yamamoto is one of the best pitchers in baseball as a rookie. He has continued to get better after each and every start. You're seeing the way he pitches. He's someone that is already a pitcher. He's already a savant on the mound because of how he can execute in certain sequences. If they're trying to sit on the splitter, he pounds a fastball on the corner, goes 97, goes 98. If they're trying to sit on a curveball, then he hits that heater. He can still strikes with that yo-yo curveball in the zone. So it makes him really, really a special pitcher. And I think something that's a little underrated as far as the success that he's had is you can tell when he's frustrating other teams and that they're not used to seeing a guy like him because of the height. Because of the release point. The release point is just not something that they typically see in Major League Baseball. Yamamoto's average four-seam fastball release height is around 5.4 to 5.5 feet. Just to contextualize a little bit of that, almost 80% of Major League Baseball four-seam fastballs are released at a higher point. So that release point, they're not used to it. The stuff is nasty, and he continues to get better. I thought Yamamoto proved that he's going to be a major, major postseason pitcher. He is someone that has stepped up on a big stage in the Japan series, throwing 138 pitches, helping them force a Game 7. He was elite there. I give Yoshinobu Yamamoto, 28.3 strikeout rate, 5.5 walk rate, 2.63 FIP, 7th in baseball, 3 ERA. Yamamoto is an ace. Yamamania is in full effect, and I'm giving Yoshinobu Yamamoto as a rookie an A along with Tyler Glasnow. And then 3, Gavin Stone. Gavin Stone, a 2.93 ERA, 17th in baseball. You've seen that Gavin Stone has completely rebuilt and refined his pitch mix. Last season, he was a 2-trick pony, right? It was four-seam fastball up in the zone. It was changeup tumbling down the zone. He went down to AAA. You saw him bring back that 2-seam fastball. You saw him brought back that slider. You've seen him use that cutter. He's got stuff that goes left. He's got stuff that goes right, north, south, east, west, working all quadrants of the zone. Gavin Stone is an absolute dog. I'm giving him my Dodgers dog of the show because Gavin Stone, he's got that dog. He's got that look in his eye, and that was evidenced in his start against the New York Yankees. Against the Yankees, goes 5 2/3, Just look at the look that he gave Dave Roberts when Doc was taking the ball out of his hands. He thought, you know what? I get Volpe out. Let me out. Let me stay out here. Okay? That was the look that he gave. And he's just been great. He made a 169 ERA so far in 10 2/3 innings in June. Had a 197 ERA in 32 innings in May. April got off to a slower start, but since then he's been fantastic. I'm going to give Gavin Stone a B+. B+ for Gavin Stone, just because I think that he has room to grow. I still think that the sky's the limit for this guy. I mean, this is a true pitcher, man. He's got that command and that location down on the edges, and that's changing everything, changing eye levels, just knowing how to pitch. So I'm giving Gavin Stone an absolute B+. So you got A for Tyler Glasnow, A for Yamamoto, and you got a B+ for Gavin Stone. After that, it's tough because you've had guys that have gone injured. You've had guys that, like James Paxton, who's dealt with some injury issues. But we'll start with James Paxton, because James Paxton, I think, is doing the job that he was signed up to do, and that is be a regular season innings eater, someone that you're not going to expect to throw big-time innings in the postseason. But he is fourth on the team in innings pitched at 53 1/3 innings, has a 4.19 ERA, a 5.34 FIP. The walk rate, 30 walks. So many walks, my dog's getting jealous. But then through 11 games, that's too many walks, right? So the walks have been an issue. Struggled in his last start. I think James Paxton, C's get you degrees. Gonna give him a C. A C for James Paxton. And I think that's what they were looking for. He has times when you can see the carry on that fastball up in the zone. Ellis Shiva Jones says Gavin Stone gets an A-. He is excellent. If you want to give him an A-, then I'm going to have to bump Glasnow and Yamamoto up to A+. And I just don't think, unless we're seeing 2014, 13, 12 Kirsch or 60s Sandy Koufax, I'm comfortable throwing out an A+. Okay, so let's stick to my grade. I'm not a PE teacher throwing out grades, okay? This is more like calculus here. Okay, AP style. But after that, we got Ryan Yarbrough, a 3.12 ERA. Shout out to the Yarbroughs. I'm a card-carrying member, the founder. 43 1/3 innings. I think Yarbrough is another guy, the versatility. I think he's invaluable for this team. He's not someone that's going to blow it past you with high velocity. He misses barrels, though. I think Ryan Yarbrough gets a B- because of the role that he's been in. And then outside of that, starters wise, we talk Bobby Miller. Bobby Miller's only made 3 starts, 11 2/3 innings, so it's incomplete, INC. So we got what's up, Alicia Jones? But yeah, those are the grades for the starting pitchers so far. We're going to continue this tomorrow. I got a long one, a whole show on position players in the bullpen as well. But that is going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. If you have not yet, do us a huge favor. If you want to make Noel's Day, if you want to make Tony Tater's Day, Tonio's Day, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and comment down below. What are your honest feelings on the shortstop position? Do you want to see Mookie Betts there? What should they do with Gavin Lux? Let me know down below in the comment section. Remember, nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. A couple walk-off shots right here. Let's do some walk-off shots. We got Ohtani. We got big Bobby Baby. Need his competitiveness in the playoffs from Joe Rodriguez. Tommy, D-back in the gym after this. Throw the whole team away. So what are we talking about? Come on now. Same record as the 2017 Dodgers, 41-26 through 67. Let's read my man's I forget. Who's the guy who did the, Alex PBG. Gavin Stone is legit. Dude is way more focused and has a bit of a chip on his shoulder this year. Absolutely. And that chip came from Chipotle. We know that for sure because that's how he added that muscle. Michael E., not Glasnow's fault. Dodgers went 5 games without supporting him with the run. Damon McKain, we need a stat for average pitch count against opposing starters to measure quality at bats and count depths. I believe the Dodgers would be down this year from previous years. Yeah, I'll dive into that. But that's going to do it, guys. Thanks again for rocking with us here on Dodgers Dugout Live. Have a great rest of your day. Remember, nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue.